Last podcast on the left is all about the facts. So when Southern New Hampshire University came on as a sponsor, it was time to do some research. Turns out they offer more than 200 online degree programs, and get this, criminal justice and psychology are some of the most popular. Classes have no set meeting times, and tuition rates are some of the lowest in the U.S. Want to learn even more about SNHU? Visit snhu.edu/last. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have trusted Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. Just tell Progressive what you want to pay, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Visit Progressive.com to find a car insurance rate that works for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
Side stories.
From your glade. That's when the cannibalism started.
Side stories.
Yes. Oh, yeah, buddy.
All right.
Fucking getting out there, getting sun-kissed.
I do get sun-kissed. My shoulders are all burnt up. I mean, the sun, it's never had more human skin to burn.
I love to see how free you've become. You are like, it's like, you know when they find those feral children that are kept inside of apartments for months? I mean, this is what I was researching for last week's episode of the Relax Fit episode of last podcast.
Right.
But they released these children from, being chained up, being told that they've got dirty parts, by being told that the moon's going to explode if they don't wash their hand 10 times in a day.
That could
happen. And then
happen.
they go outside and they dance. They dance and frolic, and they're just enamored with the sun, enamored with the grass. Don't you wish? And now I see the simplicity of that joy in you now.
Of course. And yes, they do get yelled at for not wearing a mask. Sure, they will get scolded still by others. But you know what? That doesn't matter, because the freedom itself is worth, yes, having to make small changes, having to alter your life ever so slightly, because at least I'm no longer chained to a chair in a Brooklyn apartment. I've never felt more free.
But they don't understand that for years in that apartment, you actually had a football helmet with saran wrap wrapped around it on you to keep your impure thoughts from escaping your brain and getting into your parent/captor's brain. So you actually have a lot of experience with the mask up to this point.
I completely agree.
I understand, though, the cognitive dissonance of I'm free now. I'm asked to wear a mask. You're yelling at me for not wearing a mask. I actually wore a mask when I was deep in captivity. But at the same time, it's a lighter mask.
Yes, it is. And you know what I do now? You put a little bit of ketchup on the inside of your mask. The whole day, you're feeling like you're eating a small hot dog. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Side Stories. I am Ben, California Kissel. California Ben, hanging out with Henry Zabrowski.
No, we're still not fucking hanging out. We're still in quarantine. We're separated from each other.
This is as close as we get. According to the commercials, we're together, alone together, which doesn't make any sense. You cannot be alone and together. Everyone's just alone. But that's okay.
In that way, they are lying to you. We are not alone together with the executives of Toyota. We are not alone with them, because if we were them, but we would be on their massive, huge palatial estates that have so much room to run around. New experiences. We could go to the horse barn.
Sure.
You could go to the people barn. You could go to the sloth barn. They have all three.
They have everything they want. Of course, I just moved to California, took the drive around across country. We talked about that on Abe Lincoln's Top Hat and on last podcast on the left, last week's Relaxed Fit. So we won't go into great detail on the joys of that. But I will say, when you have two little dogs, you move into a new house, all they see is multiple toilets. Every place that they have never smelled before immediately becomes an outhouse. So it's just me for the first 48 hours with now a squirt gun, because I have the ability to have a squirt gun. So I have a squirt gun, and I'm just like, no, and it seems to be working. So
hey, as long as it wasn't Dave Kohler doing it. Because I imagine his pisses and his shits would be far more significant than LJ's. Because at least LJ's are small, but I've seen Puffins. Puffins are big.
Puffins are big. Of course, Dave Kaler, my man, he's done great graphic design work. If you are in the need for graphic design, check out Dave Kaler. He'll
do anything. He'll edit you out. To speak right now, let's say you just happen to be in the background of a picture that Ghislaine Maxwell's in, or Jeffrey Epstein's in.
Yeah.
He'll erase it for a second because you didn't know. You were just trying to get free hors d'oeuvres. How many times I wander into a quote unquote art party in New York City early on, and I just wanted the free wine.
I mean, you remember, Henry, of course, Ghislaine Maxwell, she has just been arrested. We're going to get into great detail on that. She's not doing great in prison. What? When Henry and I we were invited by WME. Now, that's one of the biggest talent agencies in all of North America.
We're so lucky.
They represent Dave Coulier all the way to Tom Selleck.
They do not. Dave
don't.
Coulier could not. I don't think he has reps. I think he's with a guy named, John.
John Stamos, perhaps.
But no, John Stamos, he's with WME.
Yeah,
John Stamos is different. Dave Coulier, the biggest thing he ever did was eat Alanis Morisse's fucking pussy. Oh, no, she sucked his dick in the theater.
According to that song, and I always say this, yes, it's fine if you can get blown in a theater. Okay, thank you. But if you are truly in love, you do what Henry just said. You eat that pussy in a theater because then you don't just get to pop back up. You don't get to pop back up and see the scene where it's like, oh, what's going on? No, now you have to slowly rise because now you're a 38-year-old man desperately trying to pleasure a 29-year-old.
Wipe. You got to, because sometimes you could be down there for a significant chunk of time.
Absolutely. So when Henry and I were watching the Lakers game, we're in the skybox. They allowed us in. It was Beefy Tuesdays. We don't know who we're hanging out with in there, Henry.
No clue who was in that box.
We were asking, can we have these hot dogs? And they were laughing at us because they don't eat the hot dogs because they're just there for show for them.
Yeah, and they thought that first of all, they were like, well, you could go buy real food. And I was like, this is real food right here, and it's real free. They loved us. It was fun. It was good for them to see people from the other side of the tracks.
But we don't
every
know.
Once in a while.
We don't know how many pedophiles were in that booth with us. We just don't know. We were there for the free dogs. We were there to watch LeBron, one of the greatest players of all time, certainly the greatest player playing right now. He's not know.
Baryshnikov of basketball.
So
I'm gonna go that far.
If you do imagine someone in the background of these Ghislaine Maxwell photos that just has a plate of hors d'oeuvres that's just like looking like a cow that's just about to get hit by a car.
Oh no!
That's
why I don't take pictures with anybody with more money than me.
Perfect.
That's my new goal. I don't take pictures. If you got more money than me, people are just gonna take my word for it that we were hanging out.
I completely agree. So Ghislaine Maxwell, Jizzlaine, whatever the hell you want to call.
This is how full of shit this woman is that you can't even pronounce her name.
No.
Her name is because I saw 5 different sources on it because 60 Minutes Australia did a new piece on her, and every other person, every one of her victims, every one of these people, they all just say this Jizzlaine. Ghislaine. It doesn't. You know what? I just hope she changes her name to Corpse.
Yep, not going to be free anytime soon. Maxwell is definitely a name that she could be going with right now, although a bit longer than Ghislaine. She was arrested roughly a year after Jeffrey Epstein was arrested. Henry Zebrowski. Coincidence. I must take my cap off to you. I don't know why it was hot. It was a swimming cap off to you because you were correct. Last week we talked about how Ghislaine Maxwell was possibly in France and she was moving every month, and you were like, dude, that was probably planted by her, and I guarantee you she's in America. Sure enough, she was hanging out in the live free or die state. Turns out she might die. New Hampshire this entire time in a $1 million home that she bought secretly because apparently realtors just don't ask if you don't want to tell them who's buying the house.
They do not. They don't care. They really don't care. But they should. But it is interesting to say, I wonder what the hell really happened here, right? She had been observed for a while. She seemed to be, there's a couple of accounts of her bouncing back and forth. There's one Twitter account that I was following that was using data to crunch, to figure out where the hell she was hiding. It's a guy named Hank Von S. I don't know what the hell else he does at Hank Von S. Basically found out that seems like she had been going from various places, from somewhere to Pennsylvania down to San Antonio. Don't know why, don't know what's there.
Right.
It comes to New Hampshire in a place lovingly, I believe, called Tucked Away. Was the name of the home.
Yes.
It was called Tucked Away. There are several people now admitting that the now famous or infamous In-N-Out photo of her sitting with an In-N-Out bag, in front of an In-N-Out with that book saying, I work for the CIA, essentially, that was staged, obviously. Ghislaine Maxwell apparently is surprised that she'd even be picked up. And they said, according to her arraignment, she was yelling, saying, why am I here? What has happened to me? But it does seem to be interesting that if you felt that you were innocent of a crime that you hid for a really long time.
Right. Yes, of course, some of the words, why is this happening? All of these sorts of things that I would assume a person of immense privilege who most likely sex trafficked a series of children would be asking when they were arrested. And you can't imagine in her mind, she was hanging out with the creme de la creme, the most powerful people in the world. So now we're starting to see who was really associated with Ghislaine Maxwell, with Jeffrey Epstein, and who should be most scared. This is what I like the most about this story. This is the beginning. This is still the tip of the iceberg. We're a little bit down the iceberg, but my God, a lot of this is still underwater, getting ready to be drained and exposed for all of us to see. She is going to spill the beans harder than that stupid bush-baked bean dog, because she's not, Henry, she is like, what do you guys want to know? When do you want to know it? How do I get out of here?
I'm kind of torn, because in my mind, I figured that Epstein was going to commit suicide or either be allowed to commit suicide or be suicided because of the way the more you read into his character, the way he viewed himself as a man of mystery. He loved the secret keeping industry that he was in. He may or may not have been some form of asset for intelligence. Apparently this is because the sex blackmail shit has been going on since J. Edgar Hoover wore panties to the White House.
Whoa!
But he should be allowed to. I'd love to see his weird little cock jammed up to a bunch of panties, because that's his freedom.
But that's the disgusting duality of all of these leaders, where it's like gays should not be married. Meanwhile, he's like, oh, let me scratch my gun. My balls are digging into my panties again.
So Epstein was one side of it. Epstein, my side, is a type of person that I could see. He can't handle his bubble being popped. He can't go from that fucking sixth floor apartment in New York to jail, his private island to jail. There's no fucking way, because you listen to Epstein talk about his island, and it sounds like the way I talked about when I first got like a good pair of underwear, like a good pair of MeUndies, where he literally was just like, what's nice about my island is that I can finally be me. I can finally just express myself and think about myself in a way that other people look at me with a sense of power, with a sense of comfort, with a sense of ease. Just being like, I literally just need a good coffee machine.
Sure, absolutely.
For the most part.
So some of the people that are absolutely horrified that Ghislaine won't be as tough as Jeffrey Epstein, in the sense that taking your own life in this way is a very violent. Okay, let's just assume that he did for the sake of this conversation right now, and we can move on from that too, because he may not have. Who knows? But that is a violent act. That is an act of purpose. That is something that you do. This is not it's not a passive act to take your own life.
I was reading a book called The Noonday Demon that talked about suicide as the ultimate homicidal act, because when you commit suicide, you kill the world. Right?
Exactly.
Because if your mind doesn't exist, then the universe does not exist anymore to you. So it's like you kill the entire universe. Jeffrey Epstein lived with his own universe. The thing is, can Jizzlaine, I'm going to start calling her fucking Jizzlaine.
Sure.
Can Jizzlaine handle jail? Can she handle the scrutiny? Or is she, because she always was the fancy arm of Epstein.
Yes, she was.
Epstein was the money and the cryptic science and the actual... he needed the hand jobs, I guess, in order to function. What they said towards the end of his career was, whatever the fuck it is he actually did for money, was that he was spending most of his day just getting hand jobs from 14-year-olds. But Jizzlaine, she also made Lick Lick too.
Oh, of course.
She was making Lick Lick, and she was playing radio dials on a couple of people as well. Don't ever forget that. She has got 2 accounts of possible abuse and then 2 accounts of perjury, which was that she just straight up said, like, Jeffrey Epstein's not a pedophile.
That's a lie!
To a lawyer, and it was a lie.
So Prince Andrew, he has got to be shaking in his knickers right now. I think he is extremely scared. I think the boot buckle that he wears is like...
The boot buckle, that bonnet he has, his lawyer, I think you reach a certain level of status in UK and they just give you one of those lawyer wigs.
Yes, it is. It is waving like the ocean on a windy day. He is scared, and he should be, because, of course, his name is being brought up almost more than everybody else's. But what are some other famous names here that that should be concerned. Ghislaine Maxwell has videotapes of them committing these acts, because these acts were done, as Henry said with J. Edgar Hoover. This was all filmed. Or, a painting in the house that had 2 cameras for eyes.
This shit's been going on since Prohibition.
Yes.
Like, this is literally the way they have been controlling people, various levels of the government, in various levels of intelligence agencies, this is how they control people. So they say, apparently, the house at Wexler, the dude that he was working for, that
Leslie
owned
Wexler.
Leslie Wexler, said when he gave him that New York house, it was already wired for sound.
Yep.
It was all ready wired for sound cameras. There was a fake bathroom that you went in that was just a bunch of fucking drives that I don't know if they pulled or not, but he definitely has receipts on whatever the fuck that went on there. And then I imagine that Jizzlaine, it's not too far from those receipts.
Yeah, Ghislaine, apparently she has all of the videotapes now. They were missing. She had total control over them. She had access to all of them. She had a lot of freaking power hidden behind a pretty face, which is a smart way to do it. It's classic, it's cinematic, and that's kind of the world these multi-billionaires lived in. They lived in a world of fantasy until it all came crashing down. So Ghislaine has all of this evidence that will definitely prove a bunch of powerful people had sex with underage girls. So there's also Prince Andrew, there's also former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, obviously Bill Clinton, who you can see in every picture is visibly hammered, smiling.
He's loving it.
Loving his life.
Full blushed out, full of popcorn chicken, all horned up. She's got an extra cigar. You know what he uses it for.
Former Harvard President Larry Summers is involved. Former Harvard professor, lawyer Alan Dershowitz is involved. Henry, by the way, Alan Dershowitz is my favorite in all of this, because as soon as Maxwell was arrested, he had this thing ready to go. Like the defense of Maxwell, he had that ready on his computer. He's just like, send.
About? There we go. Locked. Definitely. I'm cool. Don't worry. They'll buy it now.
Of course. Retail tycoon Leslie Wexner, billionaire hedge funder Glenn Dubin, former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, former Maine Senator George Mitchell, and then this former Epstein employee Claire Hazel, who worked there in the 90s and was sort of an early version of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, yeah, because then she aged out.
Yeah, because
that's how it always goes. And she didn't give him what she wanted.
Exactly.
And Jizzlaine she loved Epstein and wanted to be a part of his life. But as one of her socialite friends called him, was just a Goomba from Queens. Is what she called him in another documentary I saw, that he could never fully fit into her life. But she loved his sort of because he was a real Billy Joel to her Christy Brinkley.
Ooh, very nice
at the
reference.
Time. She was an uptown girl. And he was a downtown guy, right? And so she thought that the two of them together would be perfect, but he was just using her. And we're going to see how far her love for her went. But man, you think about all of these high profile people in tech, politics, all having these crazy Club Silencio, eyes wide shut party. They're harvesting children for adrenochrome because apparently it can make you jump higher, but it also actually really helps with your cholesterol. But then I think about the poor rubes that have been covering up UFOs for so long, and they're never invited to the fuck party. They're never invited. You got the other guys, like Stanton Friedman was never put on the Lolita Express.
R.I.P.
Because his whole time is, he just sits there being like, I hope that you all have club soda. They're not jumping into the mix.
No.
I feel bad for my clandestine UFO pseudo Majestic 12 group that never got to get free hors d'oeuvres or hang out with Kevin Spacey in Buckingham Palace getting to sit on the throne. They all got to just hang out in the throne room. It's like Prince Andrew allowed them all to just use that picture of Kevin Spacey and her laughing, sitting on the royal throne of England. And you're like, man, no one asked a single member of Majestic 12 over there.
That photo, dude. What is it? The amount of evil in that smile was Dick Cheney-esque. It was just, we're doing it. We're pulling it off.
The heads thrown back, both with their cigars, not a care in the world. Because guess what? Jizzlaine and Epstein, they were on little girl duty. But who's doing little boy duty?
That's where Spacey comes in. According to Christina Oxenberg,
Brian Singer.
Brian Singer, my God, that story is coming out. I got to Los Angeles just in time.
Right on time.
Right on time. Christina Oxenberg, she's a former friend of Maxwell and Epstein, said that now I want to call her Jizzlaine too. That Ghislaine, we used to boast about getting underage girls for the multimillionaire. This is what she said. She said regarding Prince Andrew, she says he is one of many Johns, all of whom were videotaped by Ghislaine. She goes on to say he is not a victim here, but Ghislaine was never his friend. She was taping him. Friends don't tape friends. This whole thing, going back to what Henry was talking about, this whole thing was a power play by Epstein to make sure he continued his success in whatever business he was working in. Because again, he never had a job.
I think that to be completely frank, his true job by the end of his life was just being chief conductor on the Molest Express. Like he was not even I don't know what his job was. That's what they keep saying. Like, stop saying a financier. It means nothing.
Right.
He's a pedophile that also, he just might have been a CIA asset. He might have had some connections to the Mossad. He might have said all that shit just to be, quote unquote, more mysterious, because there's nothing less mysterious than a 55-year-old man having sex with a 14-year-old. Like, there's nothing chic or cool about it, Kissel. You see how I said that and how I made sure to say that. But the one thing I'm really concerned, Kissel, is that we tape our friends all the time.
Doing sketch that nobody watches. We tape our friends.
Some people do.
We tape our friends doing something that nobody cares about. It's called comedy. If they were having sex with children, then yes, it would go viral. But we don't have that ability.
But I'd also say, Kissel, if you happen to find yourself filming a friend having sex with a child, I'd like you to just take a moment, put the camera down, and address the situation.
I would beat up the friend. Don't even worry about it, Henry. I'd beat up the friend. You know what? And then they're not going to be in the next sketch. We're going to write them out of the funny sketch.
We're going to write them out.
There's too many hamburgers. Who's going to eat all these hamburger sketch?
And that's how they learn their lesson.
But he's not going to eat all the hamburgers now.
That's how they learn their lesson, is they don't get cast again. And we say, hey, now from now, you, in order to retroact this, you have to have sex with one 75-year-old.
You have to even it out. You have to have an average. So according to Oxenberg, this is what she told the paper. Again, she's talking to The Sun, because this story is made for The Sun. It's made for the New York Post. This is
they love it. They're scrambling all over it. Because she's already leaking tidbits out. She's already starting her side game to get, because this is about attention for her. Jizzlaine has not been paid attention to enough, Kissel.
Aww.
This is now finally she gets her moment. She's always been behind Epstein. This is huge for her. She gets to be a fucking girl boss.
And to that point, her, Maxwell's lawyer is the former lawyer who helped catch El Chapo. This is a very powerful man that's also worked with the government, obviously. Oxenberg says, I think she thinks she can get out. Obviously, she's planning on trading information, which is why she has all the tapes. And this story,
I hope so,
is not even close to over. And as far as I'm concerned, every single person involved that had sex with a minor on camera, or not on camera, but let's just say on camera so we have definitive proof. Let's just, you know what? Maybe it's time for you to go to real jail, not free speech jail.
That's you with the soup can. I want you to go into jail, and I want you to experience what happens to pedophiles in jail. Now, I will see. It's interesting because there's many now that we're just at what Kissel just said at the very beginning of the story. I'm certain that there was nothing untoward about William Barr trying to possibly fire the head prosecutor that was working on this case for the entire time. I'm certain that there's nothing in there about how his father hired Epstein to his first jobs, and about how all the sci-fi novels that his father wrote that all featured like heavy pedophilic themes. Or I'm certain it's got nothing to do with any of this.
No, absolutely not. That story is completely crazy. William Barr firing the prosecutor in the Southern District, replacing him with somebody else. That person obviously went on to arrest Ghislaine Maxwell, but whole thing is just...
The way it worked out was that they tried to get the original head of the SCNY to resign so they could replace them with one of their goons. But then he said, no, you got to fire me, which then automatically kicks in. Then you have to hire my deputy to replace me as an interim attorney, interim prosecutor. So they got to keep it, but it just sounds like they just colossally fucked up, and that our maybe it comes down to one of the gifts of the Trump presidency is that they're going to be too incompetent to keep the Illuminati going.
Maybe. I mean, the strange thing is, all of these people know each other. It's like if LPN had its own court system, and we found out Jackie did steal the last burger at Thanksgiving, and it's like we do Thanksgiving burgers.
Whipped.
That's what we do.
She gets whipped.
But if she did it, but that would be tough for me as judge to convict her because I know her. But at the same time, if the evidence proves, and of course we would have to go through her stool and things like that to figure out how many burgers
I would
she
prosecute her. You look at her teeth. You look at her teeth for meat shreds. You test her lips for ketchup stuff. I'm pretty certain that I could spray her with something where if you put a blue light over her, you'll see where the ketchup went. And I'll say that it's a ketchup
Honestly,
detective.
dude, but you do not want to do that because you'd be like, Jackie, how is that on your... Jackie, what is going on with you and your husband or your fiance or boyfriend? I don't know what they are anymore. But they're in love, and that's all that matters. I don't want to know where the ketchup is found on Jackie's body. That's all I'm saying. Ghislaine Maxwell, just lastly, she is placed in 14-day COVID isolation. A lot of people have been like, she's got COVID. It's the beginning of the end. I don't think she has it. I think they're just doing a precautionary 14-day isolation. They show pictures of her jail cell. It is just a standard jail cell. And, that is going to be shocking. On a slightly different note that I'm going to talk about a little bit more on top at, we're going to get prison reform as soon as all of these rich people start going. That's when that's when people be like, it's really bad in here. It's like, yeah, we've been telling you that for 75 years. It's bad in here. And then we're actually going to see reform. But
Kissel, how much money do you want to put on if she makes it to trial?
Oh my God.
How much money do you want to put down?
Well, this assumes that she doesn't just plea out. Do you think there's even going to be a trial?
What I am imagining is if she will plea, not go to jail, and she will flip.
Oh, I think she's got to do some
long
time, though. You don't think she's going to do any time? I feel like they have to give her something.
I think that she'll say yes to like perjury or whatever, but she's still kind of locked under whatever that crazy plea bargain that Epstein did with Alex Acosta back in the day. She's still kind of locked into that, whatever that time period covers.
Well,
so
who knows? I think that was a state, Alex Acosta, of course, who now has a bigger job in government because that's what you do when you protect pedophiles. That was a state thing in Florida. So I don't know if that'll supersede the federal. I would think that she's probably, I don't know. I feel like she has to get just a few minutes behind bars.
I'd like to see that. But this one could make it. It just depends if they put her in the MCC or not.
She could. I don't think if she dies, then it's just then we would have to fully, then I would just I wouldn't even put a tinfoil hat on. I would wear a full tinfoil suit. I would literally have a tinfoil briefcase. Yes.
I'd eat tinfoil for 3 meals a day for like 6 months. Yeah. I'd say till Christmas. Christmas, we could go back there and be like, okay, I'm back to normal.
I can't even imagine the shits from the tinfoil diet that Henry Zabrowski is on. But yes,
Sputniks.
She better, if she doesn't live, that's another can of worms.
A lot of bullshit.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Hey there, everybody. Is your cell phone bill too much money? Are you getting that bill and you're like, hey, what is this? I can't believe for what? For 5G? Are you crazy right now? $100? I don't even barely got any bars when I'm just sitting in my living room, okay? You don't have to deal with that anymore. Are you ready for this? $15 a month. That's right, $15 a month on Mint Mobile. Yeah, baby. Get their wireless plan, because they're just sitting there on the T-Mobile 5G network, and it's just $15. Your whole life, you're just paying all this money every month. You're like, why? Where's it going? It's going to these phone companies that are robbing you. So go to Mint Mobile. Let them help you talk to your mom. So get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month. Go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when the network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabytes hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
It's obvious we love true crime, but it does make us feel a little paranoid about what's out there, as it should. And that's why it's so important to get a home security system that gives you peace of mind. With SimpliSafe, you can stop crimes before they even start using their AI-powered cameras to identify threats on your property and alert US-based live agents to take action. Like arriving in a helicopter in the night, coming down from the helicopter, zipping down and breaking through the windows with their big axes, and going through the house, ripping through the walls, finding the criminals. It's easy to do. SimpliSafe has been a game changer for us. And the best part, there's no long-term contract. We've used it since the very early days of SimpliSafe here at LPN, and it keeps us safe, doesn't it? It keeps all of our thoughts inside the building. Then there's the ones we let out because they have to go out because that's a part of it. But SimpliSafe keeps the other thoughts safe. And for that, we say thank you, SimpliSafe. And we want you to experience the same peace of mind as we, which is why we've partnered with SimpliSafe to offer an exclusive discount to all of our listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/LPOTL. That's half off at simplysafe.com/LPOTL. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Let's move on to some more traditional crime here in America. I know, Henry, you've got a crazy story about a man who really was not happy with his 92-year-old dad because...
There's a lot of problems with old people right now. Yes, they're the most vulnerable to COVID-19, but they're also most vulnerable to the curse of the vampire.
Oh.
This comes from Local 21 News, Associated Press. This is Hemphill, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania man beats 92-year-old father to death. Thought he was a vampire.
What?
I've been there. My grandmother was an awful woman, and she made it to 93. And there's a couple of times I just I would think about just going over there while she's asleep and just with the steak, just sitting there. Do I get her now? Do I get her now? Do I become Van Helsing now?
Yeah, but the thing is, Henry, how long can people live? If you don't like your grandmother at 75, you have a maximum of 25 more years. But an average, you got about another 8 years with her. You can wait it out.
The spite is the strongest force that ever lived.
That's true.
A man who says he fatally beat his 92-year-old father in their home because he believed his father was a vampire has been sentenced to 20 to 30 years in prison. I think that's good. Oh, he said that I'm guilty, but I'm mentally ill.
Well, I think that he is. If he believes his dad's a vampire, I think he might have a point there.
Yes. He said he beat him to death with the wooden arm of a dining room chair, which is the most country cabin way to beat a man to death. He said he was off his medication. That's what the lawyer said. But prosecution told police that he beat his father because the older man was hiding his phone.
Which, to be honest, if you're a vampire, you might have a lot of incriminating evidence on your phone.
Well, for example, all the pictures you don't show up in. See, if you're a vampire, hang out with Ghislaine, you're not in the photos, but you can still do whatever you want.
Empty selfies.
That's insane.
All of these empty selfies, and he just knew that he had to, this was his time. He had to get Nosferatu.
He did. So the dude's name is Douglas Novak. He was also charged with arson, reckless endangerment, and risking a catastrophe, which I didn't realize that risking a catastrophe was a charge that you could have, but that is what they got him with. So, okay.
So does anybody who starts a podcast can just be charged with risking catastrophe? Like, how else? What does that mean? What do you mean risking catastrophe?
The prisons will be more overfilled than ever.
I risk catastrophe every day.
Every
It's
breath
called
we
going
take.
to the supermarket during a fucking super flu.
Yes, indeed. So, yes, he killed
I'm
the guy
having
with
fun.
the wooden arm of the dining room chair. The dude, the dad, the vampire, although he is now deceased, I don't think he was a vampire, so we can just say the father of this mentally disabled
Yeah, he's not a vampire.
man.
You have to stab one of those to death through the heart. No, you can't just beat him to death with a piece of wood.
No,
Yeah.
he was found 2 days later. But, to the guy's credit, just a little bit, Douglas, the guy who did the murder there, to his credit, he did do what was right. If his dad was a vampire, he did take the stake and jam it through his heart. So if he was a vampire, at least the guy followed the rules, which I think means he's not mentally ill. He's just a really,
He did plan a successful attack on a vampire.
Could be.
Which, again, takes forethought, which takes a lot of ideas. And you have to sit there because how often are you looking for capes?
Yep.
I mean, and in certain time periods, capes were more popular. You know what I mean? What year was this? 93. So he's, oh my God, I am so stupid. How long ago was that? Let me see when he was born to see if he could even possibly, fashion-wise, have a cape.
Oh, my
He was
goodness.
born in 1927.
The dad was born in 1927, the greatest generation. There it is. If they were vampires, that would have definitely helped us fight the Nazis. Apparently, the fire was started when candles were used as part of a vampire ritual. They burned the floor a bunch. So this guy really did have a whole thing going on.
There's a lot of planning for
A lot
this.
of planning, which makes me think
And you know what? What makes you think?
maybe he's not mentally ill. Maybe he really...
I feel like he might not be. I think he might not be. I think it's got something to do with hiding the phone. God knows what was on the phone. Maybe they were playing Words with Friends and he wasn't making a move. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I hate
why I
that.
stopped.
Words with friends. It is the words with former friends because your friends don't play it the same way that you play it. And you always have that one friend also who is super lonely, who is just constantly playing. And it's like, I can't. I'm not doing this.
Long. Just fucking, I have a life. I can't just sit here and think of words with you. Same thing with chess with friends. I love playing chess with
Sure.
friends. I did it for a while, but then people stopped showing up.
Yeah, because they have love to make with their wives.
Whatever, man. How long does it take to make love to your wife?
It depends what you're going for. If you're trying to be studded, I just watched The Big Lebowski because, of course, I moved to LA and I'm like, although I went to Ralph's, you know when I tried to get my Ralph's card, Henry? They were all out. They said because of high demand, we're not going to have any for a month.
Because of high demand.
I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
I guess people are shopping. People are grocery store shopping more now because we used to do things like have fun. We used to do things like go to restaurants and go to bars and stuff and have other alternative ways of eating or go to a friend's house and eat.
Sure.
And now we have to cook every single morsel of food that we eat. I obviously get delivery.
Of course, you have to.
But it's expensive.
Well, all I know is my wallet is missing a Ralph's card, and I can't wait to get that damn thing. But watching The Big Lebowski, now I forget why I'm even talking about The Big Lebowski. I moved to L.A. You got to watch The Big Lebowski.
Oh, about me being studded.
You being studded, just like Big Lebowski was studded when she was doing her little exercise.
Oh, yeah,
so
when
if you're
she
being
folds
studded,
up the legs.
yeah. So if you're being studded, that's going to take a little bit longer. Anyway, way too long for you to have time to play chess with friends because you're playing chess with life, which I think is much scarier.
If my wife needs to practice me studying out and doing all this type of thing, that's what we do. I take my time, but it's between all of the fueling up sessions where I drink water. I got my Semen X finally arrived in the
did you
mail.
get that?
The guys, I didn't order it. I'm saying this. I'm straight up saying this. We mentioned Steven X on, I believe, a Relax Fit episode that Marcus was into it. He was researching it for some reason. And they thought it was fun, and they just sent me a whole bunch of all of these jars of Steven X.
Have you taken it yet?
I don't know what it's going to do to my loads. I'm not trying to make my loads bigger. It's never been requested of my love. My beautiful wife never didn't want me to have juicier ropes. But it does have all of these like numbing wipes.
Yeah.
That you could put on your penis.
But doesn't that numb the vagina then also? If it's numbing your penis?
I don't know what the hell it does. I don't know what the hell it does. But also, like, I'm not 19 years old anymore. You know what I mean? I need sensation.
Yes, you do.
I can't just make it an icicle. It can't be just a phantom limb that I'm stabbing out like a dowsing rod looking for water. It doesn't work like that anymore. I need to feel passion. It needs to be in the moment.
Oh, indeed. Everyone loves to hear about your passion.
This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. You know, stigma shows up in a lot of different places. I know I had to explain to my handyman about the devil imagery in my home. I had to explain that in our home, El Diablo es bueno. And he reluctantly agreed. I think largely just because he was in my home and he was scared. But over time, he began to see, the devil can be my amigo. See, even in 2026, stigma can get in the way of a lot of things, right? My handyman almost didn't put up my floating media cabinet, right? You got to get support for your mental health. Maybe you've encouraged friends to consider therapy while avoiding taking the first step yourself because you're busy, worried what others will think, or telling yourself you should handle it alone. No, you need a team. Get therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform. Give me a space to slow down and talk through what's building before it feels unmanageable. So let's take a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp will handle the initial therapist matching work for you. Their industry-leading match rate means BetterHelp typically gets it right the first time. Feel confident knowing BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of ethics and are fully qualified. So don't let hesitation hold you back. Find support with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod. Is there anything better than a summer evening outdoors? Enjoy your space to the fullest with new greenery from Fast Growing Trees. I love a big, thick bush. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest, most trusted online nursery, and they can send me a big, thick bush any time of the day. It arrives at work. It arrives at my car. I can pinpoint on a Google map where it is. Send me a big, thick, brown bush. And they send it immediately when they have it, because sometimes the shaver comes to town. I remember one time I ordered a cherrywood tree from Fast Growing Trees. And my God, I couldn't cut it down, no matter what my father told me to do. I had to lie to him about it. And next thing you know, I became the first president of the United States of America. And even you can become the first president of the United States of America with Fast Growing Trees. Right now, get up to half off select summer planning essentials, plus get an additional 20% off your first purchase with code LEFT at checkout. That's an additional 20% off at fastgrowingtrees.com with code LEFT at checkout. Offer is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, I know what you're thinking. I like to go banking, but I don't want to give to these big old banks all the time that cater to the 1%. Well, go ahead and get yourself hooked up with Chime. It's banking built for you, not just those rich jerks. And they got thousands of fee-free ATMs because why pay to get your own money? Chime is working for you, man. You get your Chime card, you're going to get travel perks, you're going to get into airport lounges, you're going to get those chicken thighs. You know, every time I go to an airport lounge, I get chicken thighs. And you know what I say whenever I see a plate of chicken thighs? Give me more. Chime's going to get you those chicken thighs in these lounges, all right? Sure, they could serve other types of meat, but why would you when chicken thighs are so delicious? Chime is not just smarter banking, it's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today. Head to chime.com/left. That's chime.com/left. It only takes a few minutes to sign up. Chime is a fintech, not a bank. Banking services for Chime Card provided by Chime's bank partners. Optional products and services may have fees or charges. Stated cashback for Chime Prime only. No minimum balance required. For more information on travel perks, go to chime.com/disclosures.
Well, one thing that Henry and I don't have a passion for is running. And because, of course, not because of the exercise component, because you might find a severed head. That's what happened to this chick in Florida. She was She was running in St. Petersburg, the home of O.J. Simpson, by the way. A woman running in...
Yeah, where was he? That's what I don't know. What kind of head was this?
Let's see here. So a woman was running. She found a decomposing head on the side of the street. She called homicide detectives. They rolled over. According to the St. Petersburg Police Public Information Officer Yolanda Fernandez, who I love this woman. I just love the name Yolanda Fernandez because she is one that you want to talk to after a hard week of work and just be like, Yolanda, what happened this week? And then you just sit there and you drink your beer with her and you just listen to every single story she has to say.
I want to hear about Yolanda's day.
Every day. So she says, we are asking the public if they saw anything suspicious to let us know. We've had a few tips come in and we're tracking them down.
Like a guy walking around with no fucking head? Like a guy with one too many hats now? That's what's suspicious? My question is the head wearing a mask?
Well, it's not.
Because if the head wasn't wearing a mask, they should give the head's fucking the dead head's family a fucking ticket.
They should. You got to wear a mask, even if you're being beheaded by potentially O.J. Simpson.
Or cartels.
I'm going to
put some cartels out there. But St. Pete's not really cartel sound. It's more of like an art community, beachy vibe.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you got married there. It was gorgeous. I got you the book. What book did I get you again? Something about...
It was on the Order of the Golden Dawn. I have a whole thing. Yeah, I'm very excited to tuck into.
They have very, I loved St. Petersburg, truly. If you want a little vacation advice from Ben and Henry, check it out. It's beautiful. It's a witchy little town. We had a great time.
It's a vacation from your problems. You go down there, you don't care, eat some conch.
Yep. And Hank,
get yourself some maduros.
Absolutely. So police believe the incident occurred in the last 48 hours because the jogger told them she ran in the same area that Sunday. Saw nothing unusual. The head was spotted.
Yeah, saw no head.
Saw no
head. Now
head.
she's going to spend the rest of her life. She's going to be looking for a decapitated head.
Yeah.
Everywhere she goes. Because you know what the lesson she's learning here? Gets you in the paper.
It does get you in the paper. If you jog on a daily basis, you need to have like a thing on your calendar and you need to exit off every time you don't see a head because you know it's got to be coming at some point. Like the odds are in your favor more and more every day.
You're owed a head.
You are at least one. So the head was spotted in a grassy area under an overpass around 7 o'clock in the morning. This woman runs very early. That's insane. Good for her. That's more shocking than the head is the fact that this chick just runs at 7 in the morning every day.
It turns out she's getting ahead of her health.
Yes, she is. There's no active crime scene right now. They're looking for anything that could identify this person. They don't.
What about the face?
The face is kind of messed up, bro. It's like St. Petersburg.
They don't show a picture of the head.
They didn't show a picture of the head. They don't know the deceased person's age or gender. That's how messed up the head is. So if you're in St. Petersburg and you know like a friend lost a head, maybe reach out to the police and just be like, that's Tom.
I'm going to go around and start saying, hey, if you don't got eyes and ears and a mouth and a nose, it's just kind of a lump.
Thumbs up.
But how do you find it? I mean, like, man, there's no face.
I think 48 hours in the St. Petersburg Sun takes it out of you pretty fast, man. I mean, it makes it disgusting because you think Ted Bundy killed all of so many people in Florida and then he would go back and have sex with their corpses 2 weeks later. Just the slush pond of human flesh that he was procreating in or attempting to.
He was really casual about it. Yeah.
So
he was
nasty.
really easy peasy about it. And this might actually be like inappropriate to say, but maybe this is like a good way to do, like, people are in their homes quite a bit these days. You put the head on top of the police car and you just kind of drive around asking people, like, You seen his head
You
before?
seen this head? Yeah.
Was it on a guy?
You know this guy? Yeah.
You know this guy? Because I know like 2 days ago, this head was on a body.
It was on a body. And that brings up the bigger question, where's the body? You got to find the body here at some point, I would think.
That's like a big missing part of the puzzle.
It's much bigger than the head.
Because the body could have something like a wallet.
Could
It
have
has a driver's license in it.
It could have the Target uniform that they were working. So, they work at Target and they're trying to get things done for customers.
Do they check the head for anything in its mouth? Because then they have something like Silence of the Lambs, right? Where the serial killer put his little nom de plume, I don't even know what you'd call that. He put the thing, the moth in the throat. But they also, mafia style, what they'll do is they cut your dick and balls off.
Yep.
And they put it in your mouth when they kill you if you're a snitch.
That's right. It's very WW2. It's pretty brutal. And the sad thing is, it's just, they laugh. They have to laugh because it's like...
We all have to laugh.
What are you going to do? You have your dick and your balls in your mouth and your head is covered. It's severed off of your body and then they're just laughing at you. And if you're just like, could have done without that, sir. But of course you can't say anything because you're dead.
Oh, did you hear the story about... This is a real quick story, but it's not remotely developed yet, so I'm just going to do the quick bits of it.
All right.
The Dutch police basically were doing this massive drug sting, and they started going through all of these they started basically arresting hundreds of people. They could do that. I guess I don't know if they work faster or what they do in Europe.
Right.
But they started arresting these people, and they busted up this place. I believe it was called EP1. They kept referring to in text, which I guess that's like their version of like a hardcore prison or like a supermax prison.
Oh, okay.
Which essentially they found this 6-room subterranean makeshift prison that was soundproofed. It was a torture chamber complete with a dentist chair, tools including pliers and scalpels and handcuffs.
What?
They found this shit. It's literally the movie Hostel. And it looks just like it.
It's in the prison?
No, they found this makeshift torture prison that I guess was going to be used by this criminal network where they not only got this, they found 100 suspects, the seizure of more than 8,000 kilograms, that's 17,600 pounds of cocaine, 2,600 pounds of crystal meth, as well as this like weird 19 different synthetic drug labs that they had. Damn. But they called it it wasn't the EB1, it was an EBI.
Okay.
They called it a treatment room. They had to blast open the door, and it was just this series of these soundproofed units.
Oh my God.
And they had they basically had a group of people that they believed that were told within series of instant messages between other criminals that it was a list of people that were supposed to end up in that room.
Oh.
And the cops went and warned them. And they all just left town.
Yeah, you got to get out of town. That is like, you got to quickly, dust should be spraying from your heels.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah,
gone.
it should definitely be you through the wall, the end of nothing but trouble. Like you should definitely Tasmanian devil your way through a wall to get away from this torture room.
Oh my God. Well, hopefully we can follow up on that story. And we're already getting dang near to Hero of the Week here. The last story that I got was about this dude named Dylan Wonder. He's 27 years old. He got real pissed off at his neighbor because his neighbor he threatened his neighbor, and then his neighbor got on the phone, and then Dylan Wonder was like, "You're calling the police," and his neighbor's like, "I'm not calling the police." Dylan thought he was calling the police. He went upstairs, got an axe, swung at him twice, missed both times. Then the next day, the neighbor who was swung at, is in the shower. Dylan rolls up in a Jabberwockies mask from America's Got Talent.
That's the dance group, and they also do a fun little version of their, a spooky version of their dance at Universal Studios for Halloween Horror Nights.
And this is the spookiest of all the versions. So he breaks into his neighbor's house while he's in the shower with a crossbow and wearing this Jabberwockies mask, takes him downstairs, robs him, and then the neighbor called the police and the guy was arrested. I'm just saying... Know your neighbors, know who's crazy, know who's not crazy, and the guy's looking at 10 to 12 years.
I've been going around the neighborhood. I've been looking in people's homes just to make sure their homes are safe. I eyeball people. I say hello to everyone.
Good.
I say hello to everyone, and if they don't say hello back, I say, "Hey, say hello to me," so that they know that they. But then when they finally say hello, whatever level of upset they are at, and then go, thank you.
Right.
So they know I got an eye out on this neighborhood.
You're the friendly neighbor who demands that they say hello to them all the time. And
Acknowledge me.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they have to.
I love it.
They have to. I'm sheriff.
Well, you're actually relatively new to your neighborhood. I don't know if you should just go and say that I'm the sheriff now, because maybe there's an actual sheriff that lives on your street. There could be a cop on your street.
I haven't seen one. And because they have to tell you if they are. If you ask anybody in the street,
that's true. Actually,
they have to tell you you're a cop. That's right. And you have to tell. I mean, I tell cops that all the time.
Man,
you got to tell me that you're a cop. And they're like, well, I have a cop car.
I just
and
watched.
Like, yeah, rapist. Try to hit me with your cop car. Try to get me in there. You're trying to seduce me.
I just watched that episode of South Park where the cops go undercover to do a prostitution sting, and then the cop just blows the dudes and gets fucked really hard, and then at the end, after he fucks them super hard and they come a bunch, then he's like, and the roses are blue, and then they're like, all right, I guess we have to go in now, arrest him. Well, like, he finishes the job, and I do love that idea of a cop just sucking his way through the whole thing, just be like,
gotcha. You just purchased a prostitute.
Sergeant Thompson, you don't have to like finish him off, right? You just got to get the money, and then that whole thing is like, it's done. That's the sting.
I think I know how to be a fake gay cop. You start acting like a real gay cop.
Oh, man. South Park holds up. All right, let's do Hero of the Week. This week's Hero of the Week is Rubble. Rubble's a fluffy Maine Coon cat. Considered the oldest feline in the world. Would have turned 31 last May. It's dead now.
Sad.
Rubble.
This is great. I'm glad that this is Hero of the Week. It died. Man, 31 years old. Fucking, what does it do? Just piss dust? What could come out of this cat?
I have no idea. Owner Michelle Heredith got Rubble as a kitten on her 20th birthday, and the pair have been inseparable ever since. Now 52 years old, from Exeter, she put Rubble's long life down to the fact that she never had children. So Michelle heavily pampered her four-legged friend instead. Michelle said, I have always treated him like a child. I don't have any children, and had another cat called Meg, who passed away at age 25. So actually, I'm going to say Michelle Heritage is really the Hero of the Week, because if you're going to be a cat mom, you got to be the greatest of all time, and she is the best cat mom ever with a combined age. I believe that makes, 66 years old total with two cats at 31.
56. That's a lot of cat. That's a lot of cat years.
It's a lot of cat years. So I'm going to say Rubble, your Hero of the Week, and your mom, Michelle Heritage, also Hero of the Week, for being the greatest cat mom in the history of cat moms. And sometimes cat women, I'm a dog guy. Sometimes cat ladies get made fun of as like lonely. Oh, they don't have children. But look at what this woman did. She didn't even usually they kind of kill the cats by making them all fat, like they would do if they had children. But in this case, she kept the cats healthy, and they live till 31 and 25 years of age. So look at that, Michelle Heritage.
And they say this to anybody who tries to make us have kids.
Absolutely. Well, of course they start feeding them young. You can see it. So.
They try, but they take your. I know why people have kids. It does seem nice, but they also they take your life force.
Yeah,
purposefully.
That is literally what they scientifically do: is take your life force. Parts of you are now in your child, and then that's not. We're not talking about Ghislaine Maxwell again. I'm saying genetically,
to be inside of my children.
No, but you are your children. It's kind of a mind fuck.
I am my children.
It's a mind fuck.
And I keep telling them that's the one thing I would do if I did have kids. Constantly being like, you're me, right? You know that you're me. I came first.
Yeah, but if you had
you're my cum.
You think your daughter would like to hear that she's you, and not your beautiful wife?
My daughter, I would have the wife. The wife speaks to the daughter, and then the father speaks to the son, and then sometimes you switch them all together.
It's very, very conservative Catholic of you.
Yes, it's true. All right, here we go. Here's some listener letters. This came from, there's been so much kind of penis talk, but this was just like a fun little version of it.
Sure.
This is in response to the leech and the penis story.
Oh, my goodness.
My stepdad was in the Vietnam War.
Oof.
He told us that even though the U.S. government denied it all the time, U.S. forces were in Cambodia. All right, well, that's breach of security, but thank you.
Well, that's very true, yes.
The leech in the penis was almost a rite of passage for new recruits. The leech would usually get in the penis while they were sleeping. They'd usually notice something was wrong when they woke up for their morning pee. Yeah.
That would help, yeah.
They would, of course, freak out and go to the medic. The medic would tell them they would have to split the penis head in 2 ways and back and fold it like a banana in order to get it out and save the penis. Of course, they would freak out, but agree to it because it was doctor's orders. They would make the man shut his eyes and they would reach out. They would rip out the leech with tweezers. This was, of course, embarrassing to the recruit, but a source of laughter for the rest of the men. Humor was different back in the day.
Hold on a second. So they didn't actually cut the penis in half like it was a log. That was a joke.
It was a prank.
And so when they went to they're in Vietnam.
The worst of the wars.
They go to the doctor, and then the doctor is like Henny Youngman. Just a Henny Youngman MD. Got a funny little bit for you. Could have done without that.
Henny Youngman's a classic comedian. This is Dak Shepard territory. This is like, you got punked.
Well,
So it's not the same.
Dax has some good bits.
Dax apparently is very nice, according to Craig Rowan, who writes for, I think it's called Bless This Mess,
I love it.
I'm gonna get Bless This Mess as a tramp stamp one day.
That is a disgusting thing to have as a tramp stamp.
Yep, I'm just gonna get clean up on aisle brown.
Oh my.
During the 7th grade, I moved to a large, old house in the middle of Terra Sierra, Florida, a little area that hardly anybody knows that exists. Even though Skyway Bridge, an extremely large and famous Florida icon, which is true, I know Skyway Bridge, connects directly to it. I remember when we toured the house, the previous owners made reference to the house knowing things. I shit you not, they claimed the house would decide if it liked how a person decorated the place. I honestly thought that they were just messing with me because I mentioned I liked horror. The first night there, I'm playing on my mom's computer and noticed it was getting light, so I turned it off. I get up to go to the bed and turn it on, and I noticed 5 red, ghoulish faces in the window. They looked almost like the ghost face mask from Scream. I freaked out, covered my eyes, and ran away. Brave, I know.
Yeah.
And in a few minutes, I convinced myself it was probably nothing and head upstairs. I wake up the next morning and noticed a hooded figure sitting on the edge of my bed, casting a calming presence, all of a sudden just disappearing into what looked like a black hole. Like, whoop.
Whoop.
Strange events kept happening for the remainder of our time in the house. Another time, I heard what sounded like 3 women talking right outside of my door, and the only words I could make out were, "disturb the guests." I even heard what sounded like a party and swing music similar to that scene in The Shining.
Cool.
This is the only event that ever sticks with me was the scarf incident. I woke up one night and felt like what I thought was a sensation similar to fabrics of an old scarf around my neck. I could even feel sequins in small holes, but that's when I realized someone was choking me. I tried to get up, but I was being pulled back down by some force. I tried to grab at the scarf, but my finger only touched my bare skin upon meeting my neck. I managed to get up and tried to get towards the door to attempt to get help. Another unseen force from behind me knocks me to the ground, and then in that moment, it was gone. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
I could breathe again. The skin around my neck, I didn't feel any fabric or scarves. I got up, dusted myself off, got the hell out of my room, and slept on the couch. Not all of the encounters were unpleasant, though. They were just kind of shadow figures, all the things moving around. I started to do research on the island that we were living on, and it found a literal Native American burial ground was located within walking distance from our house.
See, this is the thing. Why wouldn't they tell you? That should make the price of the property go up. If I'm a real estate agent, I drop that lingo, I drop that sentence down, and then say it's worth 10 grand more because there's an ancient Indian burial ground right by it.
Back in the day, there was a shipping boat. It rammed into the bridge it used to be, and there used to be a story there called the Feral Children story. There's a group of feral children that actually were released all over this island. This is according to the BradentonTimes.com. This is from 2011. Oh my God, this article came out September 25th, 2011? Jesus Christ, we were just thinking about this? Oh no, never mind.
Did you forget? Did you literally forget
God.
September 11th was on 2001?
Yes, I did. Yeah, just my brain. My brain. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll never forget.
You forgot by a decade.
Hey, man, what are you going to do? You know what? It was old news. That's old news. Now, according to the local legend, we had to catch the Guerrero children in a cast net. This was back in the day. Tierra Sierra, this is famished and in a state of confusion. Children were roaming around the Tierra Sierra wilderness, completely disillusioned. Mumbles of an indiscernible language confused their captor, who wanted nothing more than to help the lost youths. But there were many questions unbeknownst to the rescuer. Where were the children stricken with yellow fever? Were the children stricken with yellow fever? Or did they speak English? And how long did their mother's corpse been rotting in the house?
Whoa!
This is like a fucked up story that you should check a look. Honestly, you should look at the story about the feral children of Tierra Sierra. Apparently, they'd been left behind there.
Jeez.
Due to,
See,
weird,
that's why.
Weird part of town.
If John Hughes wrote that story, it would just be Home Alone, like part 8, where it's a series of kids that are left alone and then turned into ghosts. But it doesn't sound quite as cute as he would make it.
It's never cute. Then yellow fever tore that killed the mother. They were all just out there, man. These kids just out there, and kids, because kids are resourceful up to a point.
Yeah, they're resilient.
But we shouldn't think that
it.
they can just raise themselves.
Yeah, well, in some ways they just become adults, so they do kind of raise themselves.
Well, yeah, their bodies become adults eventually through time.
Yeah, naturally, or corpses. All right, any other stories this week? Any other letters? Again, you can always email sidestorieslpotl@gmail.com. Please share us your spooky tales.
I just wanted to tell you this story because it's the way this man referred to the story, the way the man responds in the story, I know this guy.
Okay.
This story is from my dad. He's a firefighter of 20 plus years, and I thought you could use him as a good cautionary tale. The sun was just coming up when a call for the engine and medic came for a possible DOA. When they got to the scene, cruisers were parked on a bridge with the officers looking over the side. I walked up to an officer who said, "The body's right there." I looked over, and about 10 to 15 feet down in the shallow creek, I saw a large, pale shape downstream.
Right.
And started thinking, how are we going to go and get them? And all of a sudden, we heard faintly, "Body? I think I'm still alive."
What?
I climbed down the side of the bridge and waited to the patient who was lying on their belly, naked, and trying to look over the shoulder at me. I asked if they were hurt, and they tell me I can't move my left leg. It looks like they landed on it when they fell. My crew brought down a backboard and some blankets since the person was very hypothermic, which would have taken long in the water. Once we got them in the back of the medic, had got most of the treatment done, and once they were relatively stable, I started asking how they came to be butt naked at the bottom of a creek.
Right.
They told me that they were hosting a party at their home and felt that things had just kind of gotten out of hand. I asked if they had consumed any drugs or alcohol, how much and how long ago. They paused and replied, "Wine," and looked down at their chest. I asked them if they were okay. I told them it was just something I just needed to know. I just needed how to take care of them. They said, "Maybe a bottle or two. To be honest, I can't be sure since it was given anally." I sat back and I just said, "What?" They said everyone at the party was giving each other wine enemas, and that it was just about they all had. That was just about all that they remembered of the night. Supposedly, it was faster and better absorption than drinking it.
Well,
the side effects based on their experience are ended up butt naked in the bottom of a creek with a broken leg, not knowing how you fucking got there. We took the patient to the ER.
How much faster do you need it? Just drink it through your mouth. You will get drunk. I promise you. You can get drunk orally. You don't have to do it anally.
Just honestly, get drunk. You could you can end up in a creek.
Wow. Well, that sounds like a hell of a bash. I'm sure Bill Clinton and Alan Dershowitz were there having a great time with Prince Andrew. Ghislaine was the one pouring all the wine.
Looking through your phone, and you just see all of these pictures of you and Ghislaine Maxwell
Kevin
and
Spacey.
Don Cheadle and fucking
Don't
Bobby
bring Don
Flay.
Cheadle
I don't know
into
who else
this.
is there.
Don't bring Bobby
There's a lot of
either.
people.
My goodness.
If there was one, I'd put him there.
All right. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this week's Side Stories. Hope you're doing well out there, staying safe and getting through time. We're doing time. If you want a fun YouTube channel, Larry Lawton is a hoot on YouTube. He's a former jewel thief. I would love to interview him, actually. If you know anyone that knows him, this dude is a character.
To know him.
So check him out.
Dude. Look up. I've been watching the pilots.
Okay.
People to describe sightings to a thing called NUFORC, which is the National UFO Reporting Center, 1977. It's called Part 2. There's hours of it, 7 hours of people calling in UFO sightings.
Cool.
And there's one of the CIA pilot describing seeing the only way he described, well, he said CIA pilot. I think he was another smoke screen, but him describing singing this thing. He said the only way to describe it was that it was made out of asphalt. It was like an asphalt egg that was following him around, going 1,900 miles per hour. What? And it's wild. There's too much. I just fucking love it.
No,
it's
it's crazy.
Anything but I love being home with my wife. This has been a cherished time, being able to spend time with my family.
That's great.
But this is a helpful way to spend some of the more empty
And
hours.
obviously this is an audio medium, so you can't see. Natalie has a gun to Henry's head. It is a shotgun. It's a large shotgun, and you just passed the test.
Having a lovely time.
It's fine. I can see the boobies. It's great.
There you go.
So live every day like you got a place where you can go see boobies of any type with their permission.
Sure.
Maybe it's some kind of magic mirror, some kind of porthole into a naughty submarine.
Well, they're saying glory holes are the way to go now as far as COVID goes, just to be a little safer.
Maybe we should invest in glory hole stock.
I don't know if it's a public trade.
Do they trade publicly?
I don't think so.
I would like to see
I think
it if
they
we can get
trade
in there
very
just holes and
privately,
holes.
as a matter of fact.
Because the thing about a glory hole is that, you could get your dick sucked through it, but also safely pass hot dogs and hamburgers through it.
You know what?
Any sort of food.
That is a great point, Henry. Great point.
It's like a little prison cell. So you got to love this love. If you add a bunch of extra O's to love, it becomes love.
Yeah.
Which is fun and more fun to say, especially if you're sad or you've been heartbroken.
Yeah.
You could say, I love eating Papa John's alone.
Yes.
I know then you can stop with the emails. We know Papa John's got a TikTok. We're not on TikTok because
I'm done.
we're not. We just don't look at. I don't want to see children dance.
At some point, it's a net negative to be like more. I think we do enough because we're good.
And laugh with the ease of the lack of care, of no memories, just in a butt wine state. Because butt wine's a state of mind. It's the new Margaritaville. Because that's all it is, man. You have a couple of butt wines.
Yep.
You're just fucking easy going, my friend.
Absolutely.
Butteritaville.
Butt chug some margaritas, Pooteritaville. It's a new company coming up right now.
I honestly would be really careful with butt chugging margaritas, especially if you do it with the straight up lime juice.
Yeah. Don't butt chug anything. Never butt chug. It started as like a joke, and then people started doing it seriously, and then just stopped doing don't butt chug. Just don't butt chug. It's the wrong hole.
I don't think it's a great idea.
It's a horrible idea.
But it gets you drunk.
Anything can get you can take a tub with tequila in it. Just take a full tequila tub. My God. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Magoostallations, everyone.
Hail me.
And be careful when jogging out there. Just look straight at the road. Unless you want to see a severed head, then, look to the left and the right.
But also, if you got things to do with your day, you can just cover it with a bunch of leaves or something so that you don't have to be part of that.
You'd be amazed
You know what I mean?
how the sentence, I didn't see that. I did not see that. It can save you hours. It can save you hours of time.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
You wouldn't take financial advice from a 72 hours in a single day alpha influencer, would you? Same goes if you're in a car accident or any accident. Who you choose matters. That's why Morgan & Morgan exists. They're the largest injury law firm in America, and they've built a reputation by actually winning cases, not just talking about it. Over 1,000 lawyers across all 50 states and $30 billion recovered. Injured? Go to forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast.
Hi, listeners. Marcus, Ed, and Henry here. It's a little bit of an announcement.
You loving all the episodes of Last Podcast on the Left lately? Well, listen, now you can get even more from us.
Squeeze it out of us. If you want to hear new episodes ad-free and unlock access to Last Podcast on the Left 7 days early, subscribe to SiriusXM Podcast Plus on Apple Podcasts or visit SiriusXM.com/Podcast Plus to start your free trial today. Do it.